Well, hello everyone and welcome. I am so grateful to be here today. We are presenting a wonderful lesson we're going to teach you today how to quiet the mind and find inner peace. And I'm your host. My name is Cleona O'Hara. And for those that may not know me, I'm the CEO of the Napoleon Hill Institute. And I have some amazing guests and speakers today. And I'm going to start with introducing you to the president of the Napoleon Hill Institute, who I love dearly. And my own story goes back to, I'm sure many of you that are here today have some kind of familiarity with The Secret and The Secret, the movie, or maybe you got the book, because I know for sure it has changed millions of lives, including my own. And I actually found the movie on a disc, a DVD disc in 2007 when my life was in a shambles. I was broken. I was broke. I had just got out of an abusive relationship. I had no money. I was in a very, very bad place. And lo and behold, one night in New York City, out in the city, late at night, lost, I got on my knees and I remember praying and saying, God, there has to be more to life than this. That was the night that I found the movie, The Secret, sitting on a DVD disc, and it changed my life. So my next guest is the president of the Napoleon Hill Institute, who is Dr. Joe Vitale. Dr. Vitale, I'm so grateful that you are here. Come on up. There you are. Now let's see if we can.
Can you hear me now? But I don't hear you.
Now here we're back. There we go. We're working now.
All right, now we can dance. Okay. Well, thank you, Cleona. It's great to be here, and thanks for gathering all the experts and all the people that want to know about peace of mind. It's probably the most important thing that any of us can stretch for and desire right now, because the peace of mind enables us to do virtually anything else that we want to do. When we don't have peace of mind, we're wrestling with the devil, and the devil is that very mind. As you know, Cleona, one of my all-time favorite books by Napoleon Hill, which he never saw published during his lifetime, and is my favorite Napoleon Hill book, but also one of my favorite all-time books, is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. And when he was talking about the devil, he was talking about the devil in your own mind. The devil is your mind. The devil is the part of you that is critical, that is skeptical, that is causing you not to be at peace. And there's a message on here, confirm you're speaking Italian. Am I speaking Italian?
I don't think you are, but it must be picking something up. Maybe.
All right. Well, I am Italian, of Italian descent. Vitale, that's the only Italian word I know anymore, outside of spaghetti, macaroni, lasagna, all the other Italian words. So I'm not necessarily speaking Italian, but what we are speaking about is peace of mind. And so what I want to invite everybody to do is to make this little session, with me at least, very practical and inspiring. I want to give you a window to the divine. And what I mean is, behind the chatter that's going on, behind the monkey mind that is barking and questioning and criticizing and being skeptical, behind all of that is this window of bliss. There is the sky that has nothing on it because it's clear and it's blue. And what we have that is overlaid on that sky, on that window of bliss, are these thoughts. And these thoughts are not always calming. They're not always comforting. Usually they're fear-based. Usually they are negative-based. There are some scientists who say we have 50 to 100,000 thoughts a day. I'm still wondering who counted them, but 50 to 100,000 thoughts a day. And they say the thoughts are negative, the thoughts are the same, and the thoughts keep getting recycled. So we're pretty much thinking the same thing over and over and over again, and it's not giving us peace of mind. It's not giving us contentment. It's not giving us serenity. More than that, that stream of consciousness that's coming from the devil part of the mind, the negative part of the mind, is keeping you from hearing the inspiration that is trying to reach you from the divine. So what do we do about this? All right, in my little session here, what I want you to become aware of is what you're thinking right now. You're having judgments about my voice. You're having judgments about my looks. You're having judgments about this moment. You're having judgments about yourself. You have judgments about what's going to happen next. Where is this going? And what I want you to do is see if you can poke through that and see behind it. You're always going to have thoughts. That's part of the human experience. They are bubbling up, usually from memories. That's why they're recycled. That's why they're expected to be the same old thoughts over and over again. They're coming from the past. And so when you realize these thoughts are coming from the past and they're keeping you from the moment, maybe you can poke through them and see past them and see this canvas, what I sometimes call a whiteboard, this whiteboard behind you, this sky that's behind you, and the thoughts are like clouds that are floating on the sky. The more you can look past the thoughts, even the ones you're having right now, and notice it's almost like a ticker tape. It is just kind of typing across your consciousness, and you're hearing the thoughts and paying attention to some of the thoughts and holding on to some of the thoughts. And I'm inviting you for a moment to let the thoughts go, to actually look at what's behind the thoughts, because here's the inside secret. Behind all those thoughts is serenity, is calmness, is the centeredness that you're looking for. It's almost like the center of a cyclone or the center of a hurricane. There may be a tornado, there may be a hurricane, there may be something in the physical world, but scientists have also said at the core of it, it's peace. The core of it's nothing's happening. I lived in Houston decades ago, and I remember a hurricane had come through at one point, and it was tearing up everything and uprooting trees and causing tremendous damage. And then after a while, there was nothing. It was total silence, and the sun was out. And then after a while, the storm picked up again. What I had experienced was the center of the cyclone. The center of the cyclone was total peace, total calmness. Again, I'm inviting you to be aware of the thoughts, but not buying into the thoughts. Looking past the thoughts to that whiteboard, to the screen of consciousness, to the sky, and realizing all the thoughts are the clouds and they're just kind of going by. Because the more you can identify with the stream behind the ticker tape of thoughts, the more you can identify with the blue sky that's behind all the clouds, the more you can identify with the whiteboard rather than what's written on the whiteboard, the more you will be at peace. Here's an extra benefit from being at peace. Not only can you receive inspiration from God, from the divine, from what Napoleon Hill called infinite intelligence, but you can also make request to the divine, to God, to infinite intelligence. Meaning, when you associate more with the background consciousness rather than the overlay of thoughts on consciousness, the more you have a direct line to plant your request on what you would like to have, do, or be. When you plant the request from this place of serenity, from this place of calmness, you are directly placing your order with the universe. Not only that, you can receive orders, inspiration, request, all kind of things we can't even imagine that will come to you because you'll have the clarity to hear it from the universe. So what I'm inviting you to do in this short little piece I have here is to really become aware of your thoughts. It's a kind of a meditation. And as most meditations, they're a practice. You're not going to get it perfect, but you can go ahead and begin to do it. And as many times during the day as you can think of it, to go ahead and do it, become aware of it, set little timers on your phone to go off. And when it goes off, you go, okay, what am I thinking right now? Let the thoughts go. What's behind the thoughts, reaching for the background tape, the background consciousness, the background sky, the background whiteboard, reaching for that. And that'll help you relax. The times you aren't relaxed are when you're listening to a thought that is making you uneasy. But if you let the thought go and look behind the thought and see the thought as a temporary cloud, then you don't have to be triggered by it. You don't have to be hooked into it. So I'm challenging you to use this as a practice throughout the rest of today and throughout all of the days that you have ahead. And hopefully you're going to come to the event where I'm one of the speakers, because I'm going to reveal and personally teach you a technique I use every single day to help me achieve serenity and be calm in the midst of confusion and uncertainty in a world that is pretty much unpredictable. I will be teaching that. Now, I also want to give you an affirmation. You can have all kinds of affirmations. Napoleon Hill called them autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is a little bit like self-hypnosis. We're already in a hypnotic trance. When I was on Larry King the first time, a decade and a half ago, I said, we're all in a trance to begin with. What we want to do is choose what trance we want to experience. So if you're in a trance of poverty or struggle or aloneness or ill health or whatever you would describe it to be, yeah, it seems real to you because you've created it out of your previous auto-suggestion. What do you want to do? What you want to do now is start to create a new trance. How do you want to feel? How do you want to be? What would you like to have, do, or be? And start to create statements, affirmations that move you in that direction. And one of them that I'll just offer as a beginning statement is to the effect that I am becoming more peaceful in every moment. I am becoming more peaceful in every moment. I am becoming more peaceful in every moment. You can adjust that, you can rewrite that, you can make something that feels more true to you or more exciting to you, but it's a chosen thought. Rather than listening to the devil mind, it's going to repeat the negativity and keep giving them to you and bringing them to the surface. You now consciously choose some of what you want to think. And so with that, Cleona, I'm going to bow out and let you and the experts take this down to the finish line.
Wow, thank you so much. I am so grateful. I know everybody here is so grateful. I can see everyone smiling. I want to invite all of you to share hearts right now with Dr. Joe Vitale and give him lots of love. You know, everything is energy. So please light up the sky here so he can see all of your love. Thank you so much, Dr. Joe.
Thank you. I'm going to step aside and see you in New York.
See you in New York. See you in New York. Thank you.
Love to all.
Thank you. It says, I am becoming more peaceful in every moment, is what I wrote down. He said, I'm becoming more peaceful in every moment. And so we can learn to embody that. Today, we're going to teach you some tips, some tools. We're going to teach a little bit. Myself and Carla Elizondo, I'm going to bring her up here in just a moment. She's one of our principal teachers. She's also a therapist. And the whole reason why are we focusing on peace of mind now? Well, first of all, Napoleon Hill wrote the very famous book, as many of you probably heard or have it, is Think and Grow Rich, right? And that was published in 1937. And Think and Grow Rich changed my life. Through The Secret, I was introduced to Bob Proctor, Dr. Joe Vitale, and then Bob Proctor introduced me to Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. But the more I got to know Napoleon Hill's work, I realized there was that one book he wrote before he passed, Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. And Grow Rich with Peace of Mind, there's the three books that shook me in my life were one, Think and Grow Rich. Two, you heard Dr. Vitale, Outwitting the Devil. And three was Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. Those three books have changed me completely. I cannot unknow what I know now about the mind and who we really are and how our thoughts create our reality. and how to live with the certain set of principles of success, which are really laws. These are laws. And if you live by them, you will have a beautiful life if so you desire. So peace of mind, it struck me. There are 12 riches in life. Napoleon taught us, but peace of mind for me has become number one. And that's why I wanted this topic to be about peace of mind. Here, I'll tell you why. I told you a little bit about me at the beginning. I came from poverty. I had no money. Immigrant, woman, business owner, woman, moved from Ireland to America. I had everything against me because I had no green card. So I didn't even have the normal rights as a citizen would have in America. So I was kind of living on the fringe of society for about 10 years plus, waiting for this magical green card application to be approved. And I was lost. I was what Napoleon calls a drifter in the book, Outwitting the Devil. I was a drifter. I had no goals. I didn't know what I wanted. And it was everybody else's fault but mine. I blamed everybody for my circumstances. I blamed everybody. I blamed my father, my mother, my grandparents, everybody but myself. And so my whole life changed when I found the secret and I started taking responsibility for me, my results, my life. I thought, wait a minute, it's my fault, really? And so I became obsessed with studying the material and doing what I was told. Then I got to work with Bob Proctor, who many of you may know, and he was my mentor. I worked very closely with him for several years. And that's when I started earning plenty of money. I earned my first 7 figures in 2016 is when I had my first 7 figures. So my life was taking off. Everything looked good. Everything seemed wonderful. I was working for Bob Proctor. I had this great role. Look at me now. How did I come from nothing to this? And I was buying the nice car, the nice houses, and all the material things started coming. This is wonderful, right? But then when I got there, and when you get there, if you're not there yet, these financial goals, I realized, wait a minute, this is not what it's all about. I don't have peace of mind. It was almost like I had got on this hamster wheel and I was chasing the next goal and the next goal and the next goal. And then if I didn't hit that goal, then I wasn't satisfied. I was letting the results dictate my value. And I realized I don't have peace of mind. And so Napoleon Hill, before he died, he wrote that book. And it was very important to him that we all realize, I believe personally, peace of mind comes first. And yes, don't get me wrong, I believe in prosperity and wealth as well, in overflow, but not just for me or for you, so that we can be of service, so that we can give to others, we can create for others. For me, that is being rich. When we can be of service and we can do things like this, maybe we'll say something today that might impact one of your lives, then we're rich. We are rich. Okay, we're on a mission to help 8 million people first at the Napoleon Hill Institute. We want to help 8 million lives improve, because if I can do it, you can do it. This material has changed our lives. And so with that, we're going to do a little bit of teaching now. Get your pen and paper ready. And I want to invite all of you to put your cameras on because I can see you. Don Green is here. Hi, Don. Don is the executive director and CEO of the Napoleon Hill Foundation. He's here with us. I'm going to bring him up at the end. I'm so grateful you're here. Put your cameras on. Don't hide your beauty. Don't hide your amazing self. Show it off to the world. And you're here. Listen, you may not know us. You're like, who are these people? Just relax. You're going to have a good time. You might even learn something, but this is going to be very valuable. So next, I'm going to bring up our amazing Carla Elizondo. She is a principal teacher here at the Napoleon Hill Institute. She's a friend of mine. She's an amazing therapist and coach. And Carla is going to go a little deeper and teach you a few things. Come on up, Carla. All right.
Hi, everyone. Wonderful. Thank you, Cleona. Thank you, Dr. Joe. Thank you all for being here today. I'm so grateful that everybody signed up and we have such a great group here. I want to dive right in. So, as Cleona said, I am a principal teacher here at the Napoleon Hill Institute, and this material truly has changed my life. I'm a therapist as well. I still work with my clients daily and a mindset coach also, teaching people these principles and really how to get unstuck. The common things that I see: anxiety, depression, busy mind, intrusive thoughts. These are the things that my clients and myself deal with. And so everything that Dr. Joe was saying, that Cleona was saying, why is this important to us? Because we have all been here. We have not had peace of mind. We've felt quite the opposite. We've felt chaotic. And I want, as I teach and I go through some of these slides, I want you to think about yourself. I want you to think about your life. And there's no shame or blame or condemnation here. This is a safe space to really take a look, take a fearless moral inventory, as we say in the recovery field. I myself have been through recovery. I used to be addicted. I used to use alcohol to cope. I used to have anxiety, which alcohol just fuels it. I was depressed. Alcohol is a depressant. And again, not to shame or blame. Everybody's in different stages. Some people can enjoy a drink every now and then. I had to be honest with myself that I couldn't. But I used these things that were outside of me to quiet my mind. I didn't have peace of mind. I didn't know how to get peace of mind. I used things outside of me. I would numb and I would do all sorts of things just to avoid that loud chatter, that chaos that kept running, that monkey mind, as they say. I'm going to bring up some of these slides and we'll go through these together. And yeah, like Cleona said, let's take notes. And I'm going to walk you through an exercise, one of my most favorite mindfulness grounding exercises. All right. Peace of mind. Do you have peace of mind? Ask yourself that genuinely. We throw this word around, peace of mind. Yes or no? Do you have peace of mind? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself? If 1 was, I'm miserable, Carla. My life is in absolute chaos. I can never feel relaxed. I don't get enough sleep. There's just constant discord within. Or 10, I am absolutely zenned out. I feel so peaceful. I feel so free. Where would you rate yourself? Number 1 through 10. 1 being no peace of mind, 10 being the most peace of mind. Peace. Synonyms: tranquility, order, stability, calm, quiet, harmony. Are these things that we experience regularly? Perhaps we do. But we can have more of it. Wouldn't all of us like more of these words in our life, to really feel them, to embody tranquility, order, stability, calm, quiet? What's the opposite? Noise, irritation, conflict, unrest, discord, trouble, war. I love looking up words in the dictionary, synonyms, antonyms, all these things. And war was the opposite of peace on a broader sense. But as a therapist, I really study the internal world, the psyche, our inner workings. If we are not at peace within, we're at war within. I felt like that for so many years. It was like I was in a civil war, me against myself. I could not calm myself down. I was irritated, angry, frustrated. Oh my gosh, so resentful. It was so painful to have these things. And so it's about turning inward. The answers lie within. And I used to deep eye roll. And I'll just preface, when I talk, I'm very real. I really break it down. I'm not pretentious in any way. I've been through this. When I decided to go back to grad school to study psychology and get my license, I had lived. She had lived plenty of life. I was not on the normal air quotes trajectory of, go to school, go to college, graduate, get your master's degree. Heck no. I had a good almost 2 decades of trying to quench that inner peace with all kinds of things, which I'll tell you about in a second. But it's about turning inward. The inner peace is found within. And depending on what's going on within, you're like, Carla, I don't want to turn within. Heck no. If you could hear the voices in my head, or if you could feel the way I feel, my heart palpitations, whew, I do not want to turn within. No, no, sir. No, ma'am. What is peace of mind? What is peace of mind? Well, a definition, a feeling of being safe or protected. That's the definition in the Webster Dictionary. Peace of mind, a feeling of being safe or protected. But most people feel insecure, vulnerable, unprotective, and defensive. We're not at peace of mind. So let's look at the list here. Back to the definition, peace of mind, a feeling of being safe or protected. Think about your life. How safe do you feel? And I'm not talking about having an alarm system on your house. I'm talking about safety within yourself, safety to be who you are, safety to express yourself. Protected, emotionally safe, emotionally protected, supported by others. Or do you kind of feel more connected to this list? Feeling insecure, vulnerable, unprotected, feeling defensive. A global emotion survey shows record highs, record levels of people feeling stressed, sad, angry, and worried. And as a therapist in the mental health field, I'm not surprised. I see studies like this, unfortunately, all the time. And you don't have to be a therapist to see these studies. I mean, we see them, we open up Instagram or Facebook or the news, walk down the street, hear a conversation about how much people are struggling. And we even joke about it. I'm a mess. Oh, I'm a hot mess. I mean, how many memes are there about, mental health issues? I'm having a breakdown, which of course there's levity and lightness. We can joke like that, and I'm not a therapist that's like, you should take that serious. I mean, of course we should take it serious, but we have to laugh. We have to have levity and lightness. But the truth is, it's real. People are messes and not all of them are hot. I used to have only chaos, fear, anxiety, worry, doubt. I mean, not only, of course, I enjoyed some of my life. Yeah, honestly, it was probably, I was like at an 80-20. 20% I was happy, 80% I was miserable. And I have loving family, loving friends. I enjoyed my life. But what I realized is it was only when I was like drinking or going out or numbing or running from that inner chaos. I used to fear everything. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich talks about the 6 ghosts of fear. The top 2, fear of what other people will think. Fear of what other people will think. I was so afraid of what other people will think, and fear of poverty, just like not being successful. So this is what I used to have in my mind. Oops, preview. Lack of peace of mind led me to drinking, partying, unelegant choices. This was me. And I'm open about this. And I was educated and I was successful according to the world standards. But this is how I dealt with it. People do it in many different ways. You can have prescription drugs. You can have cannabis, marijuana, different vaping pens, pornography. The list goes on and on. The things that we reach for to numb, to soothe, food. And after suffering long enough, I made a decision. I was no longer going to betray myself. I was not going to go against what I knew was within. There's 3 types of betrayal. Perhaps you've been through one of them, perhaps you've been through all of them. I've been through all of them. There's a deep pain when you've been betrayed. When someone has betrayed you. When you've been lied to, when you've been cheated on, when you've been really mistreated. When someone's betrayed you, that's a deep, that cuts deep. Then there's a pain of, you betraying someone else. Perhaps you weren't at your most elegant moments. Perhaps you had no other idea how to get your needs met and you betrayed someone. You weren't honest. You cheated. That's another pain when you betray someone else, betray their trust. And then there's the last one, which I think is the most painful, and it's betraying yourself. When you continue to lie to yourself, you don't listen to that still small voice. You don't listen to your intuition, and you continue making decisions and walking in a direction that you know darn right well you have no desire to be there anymore. You can be betraying yourself, continuing to go to a job. Not that I'm saying quit your job, but start looking for something different if you're not happy. I've betrayed myself in relationships, with my health. I continue to eat things that I know I shouldn't eat. And it's not about good or bad or depriving myself. It's just, I should not be eating a sleeve of Oreos before bed at night. Have a few cookies, Carla. But when I'm emotionally eating or just anxious and I just need something to munch on, there's other ways. So I decided to stop betraying myself. I was going to listen to that little scratch in my solar plexus, that dullness, that pain in my heart, that I knew I was not listening. I was not listening to that inner guidance. Self-abandonment. This is a common word in the therapeutic world when we abandon ourselves. Things are so bad or we're so frightened, we jump ship. We go outside of ourselves. Because the only person that can take care of you, or as Cleona said, responsible, right? She found herself blaming everybody. She was not taking responsibility. We are the only ones that can take responsibility for our lives. And I don't blame people, by the way. I do not blame anybody for self-abandoning, for numbing, for drinking. Hell, I mean, we're just trying to survive. However, the moment we realize that there's another way, we can't unsee it. We can't unsee it. And you deserve a life where you're there for yourself, where you support yourself, you nourish yourself, you heal yourself. And there's so many different ways. So no more self-betrayal, no more self-abandoning, no more chaos of mind, no more running, no more avoiding, no more hiding, no numbing. We know what we're doing, all of us, if we were to take just that look within. Again, no judgment. But what areas of your life, I invite you to think about the areas of your life where you perhaps might be running, avoiding, hiding, numbing. Is it with your physical health? Are you unhappy? So you continue to, reach for things that give you that instant gratification? Is it in relationships? Staying somewhere where you really aren't happy, or avoiding intimacy because you're afraid or insecure or you don't feel worthy. Maybe it's in finances. You don't want to look at your bank account. You keep charging up the credit card bills. You don't use the inner gifts that you were given, because remember, money is just a receipt for the service you rendered. We earn money. We don't make money. We earn money. How do you earn money? You give valuable service. And each and every one of us, everybody listening on this call right now, has gifts that people would pay you for gladly. But if we're not showing the world, if we're not putting it out there and giving service and helping, we don't earn any money. Maybe it's in purpose or calling. Maybe there's something you really want to do, but you continue to run and avoid and hide because you're scared. There's so many areas of life where we run, avoid, and hide, and we numb. And it's just out of fear. It's ignorance. We just don't understand. But this is why we, attend classes like this. That's what the whole Napoleon Hill Institute is about. It's a personal development company that's dedicated to the principles that have worked. I mean, it's not a coincidence that the most successful people, from business people, Wall Street to rappers, have read Think and Grow Rich. Ask anybody, watch their social media. Anybody who you look up to that's truly successful inside and out, right? What are their top books? Think and Grow Rich. What celebrities? Who owes their success to Think and Grow Rich? Jim Carrey. I know a lot of us are Jim Carrey fans. He says it all the time. He uses these principles and these laws. Jay-Z, Oprah. There's a principle. There's specific steps. There's a philosophy to life. We are all running a program. We all follow a philosophy, but it's either chosen for us or we choose it. And we all have the free will to choose what philosophy we're going to live by. And so again, at the Napoleon Hill Institute, and I've dedicated my life to this. As Cleona said, she studied with Bob Proctor, as did I, up until he passed. And he read Think and Grow Rich every single day of his life until he passed. He knew that that is where the secret lay. They were all laid out for him, for all of us. So now that we have this information, study it in any way that you feel drawn towards. So we're all trying to quiet the mind. At least that was what I was trying to do. And of course, there's still days, most days. I just need quiet. I need peace. I can't do chaos. I can't do struggle. It's too painful. Like I'm too sensitive to it now. We're all trying to quiet the mind. Dr. Joe referenced this, 60,000. This is the average, according to research by Dr. Fred Luskin at the Stanford University. Us as human beings, we have around 60,000 thoughts. I've also read statistics that say 60 to 80,000 thoughts. I know Dr. Joe said about 100,000, and who counted those? But a human being can have around 60,000 thoughts per day, and 90% of these are repetitive. 60,000 thoughts per day, 90% of which are repetitive. Another study, according to the National Science Foundation, 80% of our thoughts are negative. And this study shows 95% of our thoughts are repetitive. 80% of our thoughts are negative. And 95% of our thoughts are repetitive. So this is what we're working with, people. 60,000 thoughts, average, 80% are negative, 90% are repetitive. I mean, let's just insert the womp wah, like 60,000 thoughts, 80 are negative, 90 are repetitive. We are just swimming in our own dumpster fire of nasty thoughts. But let's not blame ourselves. It's how we've been programmed. It's what's surrounding us. It's what's loud. It's what gets the spotlight. It's what gets the microphone. But let's not fall victim into just what is. Let's not live from the outside in. And it's no wonder why the majority of the population feel dysregulated, not regulated, in a state of emotional dysregulation. That's why we reach for the comfort food, the drugs, the alcohol, the marijuana, the sex, the pornography. Name your poison, right? The maladaptive, not adaptive, not healthy coping skill. We must take control of our peace of mind. Nobody else is going to do it for us. I wish I could hire out. Let me tell you what. I mean, can I hire one on Fiverr? Someone to take control of my peace of mind? No, we can't. Controlling our thoughts is the first step. It's the primary cause. Our thoughts. And people will say, Carla, did you just read the slide right before? 60,000 thoughts to 100,000? How can I control those? Hear me when I say, it is impossible to control every thought that comes into your conscious thinking mind. However, it is 100% possible to control the thoughts that you get emotionally involved with, the thoughts that you entertain, the thoughts that you hold on to and start ruminating, arguing in your head, talking to your friends about, texting. Did you hear about this? Did you hear? Look at that, gossiping. We are in control of what thoughts we get emotionally involved with. So controlling our thoughts is where it starts. Your mind produces thoughts that trigger the brain. So our mind is first cause. Our mind is where our thoughts are. And that triggers the brain. So the mind is not the brain. This is a whole nother class, but I'm just going to run it down as quick as I can. The mind is not the brain. The brain is a piece of anatomy in your skull. The mind is the infinite, limitless energy that operates the brain. Think about this. Your lungs in your chest are a piece of physical anatomy we can see on an X-ray. Just like your brain is a piece of anatomy we can see on X-rays and scans. So there's physical organs of matter. Your brain is a physical organ of matter. But like your lungs, what operates the lungs? Air, breath. Without the lungs, we can't see air and breath, right? I mean, we can see it in the trees, right? But I'm saying with our bodies, like breath and air are it runs the lungs. It gives life to the lungs. Without breath and air, our lungs would cease. We would cease to live, to breathe. The brain is operated through the mind. The mind operates the brain. It activates the brain. The mind activates the brain just like breath activates the lungs. We can see the brain and the lungs. We can't see the breath and mind. So the mind is this intangible concept that, you know, up till today, everyone argues and doesn't really understand it. A lot of people are leaning more into, you know, the neuroscience, which is the study of the brain, right? We're not studying the brain. I'm not a neuroscientist, although I know a lot about it. I study psychology, which is the study of the mind. It's not tangible. No one's ever seen an image of the mind. So it's this mind, this unseen force, this energy. Science calls it energy, theology calls it spirit, that triggers and controls this physical body that we live in. So the mind triggers the brain. We think with our mind and it goes right down to our brain where it wires and fires, right? Wires are fired and they send signals down these neural pathways in the brain, causing a release of chemicals in the body, otherwise known as emotions. So you think a thought in your mind, it gets shot, in nanoseconds to the brain, which fires these hormones, the synapses that are all connecting and lighten up the brain. And boom, we get showered with these chemicals, these neurotransmitters, these hormones. And they're pumped through our body all day. There are emotional feelings. That's how we feel things in our physical body. We have both physical feelings from the physical body. If I touch you on your arm, you can feel that, but we're not talking about physical feelings. We're talking about emotional feelings, emotions. So your thoughts are produced in the mind, which send signals to the brain, which create emotions in your physical body. And our body can become addicted to certain emotions. It's just a chemical concoction. Every thought you have equals a feeling. And it actually it's shown in the body. We are training our body. We are feeding our physical body with the chemicals of our thoughts. And our body can become addicted to certain emotions. Fear, most of the population is addicted to fear, and it's not like a choice, it's unconscious. Our body is just addicted to it. It can be passed down genetically and epigenetically, energetically, through the lineage. I've definitely worked with people who have, trauma responses with which they've never physically experienced these things. Their parents have. Holocaust survivors I've worked with, descendants of them. And although they've never been through those atrocities, it lives in their body because it was passed down through the genes, epigenetics, energetically. So our body can become addicted to certain emotions. What's an emotion? We talked a little bit about that. It's just the chemical reaction in the body from our thoughts, but otherwise known as energy in motion. It's this energy moving through our body. Emotions are energy in motion. The best definition: the conscious awareness of the vibrational state that you are in, otherwise known as your emotion. So, for example, I wouldn't say, hey, Cleona, I am so consciously aware that I am in a high vibrational state. I would say, hey, Cleona, I am so excited today. Or, hey, Christina, I'm consciously aware that I'm in a very low vibrational state. I would say, hey, Christina, I'm sad. So these labels of emotions, these words that we label our emotions, sad, happy, miserable, excited, elated, they're labels that we put on the conscious awareness of the vibrational state we're in, because energy is coursing through our body, which is setting the tone for our vibrational set point. We are vibrating beings. What's vibrating? These emotions, these feelings, these thoughts that are running through our body. So emotions are just another word for the conscious awareness of the vibrational state that you're in. Ooh, I love this. 90 seconds, y'all. 90 seconds. That's how long an emotion lasts. You could say, Carla, I don't think so. I love this woman. According to Harvard brain scientist Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, emotions last 90 seconds, or the length of a chemical process in the body, as we have just studied. An emotion is just a chemical wave that's coming over you that was produced by a thought. But after that, after the 90 seconds, the remaining emotional response is the result of a person choosing to stay in that emotional loop. So if our emotions only last for 90 seconds, why do we stay in perpetual anger? Why does our emotional discord last for days or weeks or years or decades? Because it's a result of us choosing to stay in that space. This is the best metaphor to date. I love a good metaphor. We're all familiar with a piano, and when it comes to musical instruments, I like to compare that to the human body. You have a beautiful instrument. Your body's an instrument. Say it's a piano. It's a beautiful instrument. And we have access to all of the notes, all of the keys. The symphony of life, right? Our emotions. We can feel the highest of highs, the highest keys, or the lowest of lows, bong, right? Everywhere in between. Life is a gamut of, it's just like, we can feel anything. Great actors know this. They know how to play their instrument depending on what role they're playing. They can play really low, dark, dun dun dun, scary, or da da da, really light, comedic, funny, best friend, sidekick roles. Us in our lives are truly like actors. We have an instrument and we can play any key we'd like. Sometimes the keys get, tickled from the outside world. Someone will, cause us to hear a really screeching note, right? But once that note is hit, just like on a real piano, if we were to walk up to a piano, boop, and hit a key, it would go bong, and it would go out. Unless I continue to hit that key over and over and over. And that's what we do. This is what Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor is saying. Something upsets us. We get struck a chord. Dong. What do we do right away? Because we're not trained any other way. We run right up to that key and we start hitting other keys to try to fix that key. You can't fix an emotion with an emotion. So if I'm feeling pissed, I can't just be like, I'm going to feel happy. No, I listen to the key of anger and I go to the thought. What thought hit that key? You always go back to thought. Never fight with your emotions. We're going to get into this. Don't argue with your emotions. Go to the source, which is the thought. So I got cut off. I got pissed. Why did I get pissed? This person is disrespecting me. They're an idiot. They're this. It happens so fast. We don't understand the thoughts that are making this key hit. So then we start playing the piano and we just feel this emotional battering ram, and then we blame the outside world when we're really responsible for our instrument. So don't ever argue with your emotions. They're valid, clearly. Depending on your thoughts, they're valid. Does it mean we're going to pitch a tent and stay? No. Like Dr. Joe was saying, emotions are like the coverings. They're like the clouds. They come and they go, right? Let's look at our sky, and we all live on the same planet if we're on this call. Clouds, how many formations of clouds throughout the beginning of time have came and went, and we have blue skies, we have some clouds, we have thick clouds. They all end up dispersing. No cloud stays ever, 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 ever. That's just like your emotion. Just as you ever sky gaze and watch clouds come apart and disappear, that's like your emotions. But when we feel the emotion, we think it's this solid thing that we can't get through. So I encourage you right now, if you have never heard this before, don't ever argue with your emotions. Don't get mad that you're mad. Don't get frustrated that you're grieving. Go to the thought. What thoughts are behind this frustration? And choose a different thought. Because once you choose a different thought, you will have an automatic different emotion. That's how you change your emotional state. Not with trying to fake and grab another emotion, or, try to slap a Band-Aid over it, or say an affirmation, right? Auto-suggestion, we're big on that. But there's a process to auto-suggestion. You go into your deep subconscious mind with the auto-suggestion. You wrap it with emotion, as Napoleon Hill says. You don't just consciously think. It's not going to hit the keys. It's not going to get into that real emotion embodied. It's not going to be embodied. So don't argue with your emotions. Go to the source, which is thought. What's the thought behind this emotion? Then change the thought. That'll change the emotion. Emotional sobriety. I'm going to push pause right here because I think I might have froze. Hold on. All right. Can you guys hear me? Cleona, anybody?
Yeah, we can hear you. We're tracking.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I froze for a second. The other day I crashed on one of the presentations, so I just wanted to make sure we're all here. Okay, great. Thank you. So boundaries with our thoughts. Boundaries with our thoughts. Emotional sobriety. That's what I like to describe. So just like in my journey, how, by the way, I'm sober now. I don't think I said that. I'm 5 years sober. Thank the Lord. I no longer use alcohol to cope. I use my adaptive coping skills, and I am physically sober. I am so grateful. I cannot tell you the level of peace I feel. Talk about peace of mind. My goodness. I feel such peace of mind. So emotional sobriety. We can have physical sobriety. Not a lot of people, or not everybody has physical addictions. Maybe you're like, Carla, I'm not an addict. I don't really come from a family of addicts. Like, I don't have a drinking problem. I can have a glass of wine here and there. Like, I enjoy, some cannabis here and there, but I don't need it every day, right? But you might have physical sobriety. But do you have emotional sobriety? Most people don't even know the term. But the opposite of emotional sobriety is just belligerency, emotionally belligerent, just drunk on your own thoughts. You just keep sipping from that bottle of anger, of frustration. There's not sobriety in your emotional life. So we must have boundaries with our thoughts. We must take control of our thoughts and have boundaries. Intrusive thoughts, as we talked about before. Well, about the 60,000 thoughts, like Carla, I have intrusive thoughts. They're like ding dong, ping pong. They're coming in every left, right, and center. I cannot control my thoughts. I have intrusive thoughts, right? Intrusive thoughts are just unwelcomed, unwanted pop-up thoughts that make you feel not good. They can be disturbing. And I'm not talking about people with obsessive compulsive disorder who have, truly have to take medication for an intrusive thought that they truly can't control. That's another medical issue. But I'm saying the majority of people, we all experience intrusive thoughts, just like pop-up thoughts. I remember when I was younger and I was, had to go to church on Sunday, and I was like, what if I just screamed really loud right now? And everyone listened. It's like, that's an intrusive thought, right? Or, this is common. I don't know if it's just me, but like whenever I held my little niece and I was like, oh my God, what if I dropped her right now? Oh my God. Just thoughts that why am I thinking that? Or if I'm cutting up vegetables and I'm like, what if I just cut my finger off? I'm like, oh my goodness. Right? These are intrusive thoughts. Uncontrolled imagination, just letting my inner world run rampant. Emotional belligerency. No control of my thoughts. So what do we do about intrusive thoughts? We discussed it a little bit before. Notice them. Don't let them trigger you. Don't get mad at them. How would you treat an intruder? An intruder, someone were to bust in your room right now, get into your bubble, open up your car door just off the street. Someone intruded in on your space. Would you let them just walk into your house unannounced, unwanted, unwelcomed, and say, I wonder why you're here. How can I help you? Would you like a cup of tea? No. You would not treat an intruder with any level of kindness, I bet. You would either start yelling, start screaming, start threatening, pushing that person out, calling the cops. That's how you must treat your intrusive thoughts. This is how serious I want you to get. This is how I talk to my clients. This is how I talk to myself. There's funny phrases that I use when I have these intrusive thoughts or my mind starts wandering to things. I say, not today, Satan. I say, hell no. GTFO, or like expecto patronum. I'm a Harry Potter fan, so I imagine I'm like waving my wand. Get out of here. Not today. Ain't nobody got time for this. Nope. I'm not going to start having an argument with somebody in my head or start hating on this group of people because I think they're being ding-dongs. No, I will not allow that, because what's happening, if I'm allowing those thoughts in my mind, I'm bathing my brain, which is bathing my body in cortisol and anger and frustration and righteousness, right? A lot of us are addicted to anger because we feel powerful. A lot of us are addicted to judgment because we feel better than someone for that moment when we're judging. So pay attention to the intrusive thoughts that are popping in. We must have boundaries, just like an actual intruder, unwelcome, unwanted, not helpful. Absolutely no. Give it no credence. Give it no emotional attention. Like somebody annoying who's trying to get your attention on the street or something, you wouldn't even look at them. That's like your thoughts. Boundaries. If we don't do that, we remain in a state of fight or flight. So some of us are familiar with the sympathetic versus the parasympathetic nervous system, our nervous system. The way I like to remember this is the sympathetic nervous system is when our nervous system has sympathy for us. Our nervous system feels sorry for us. It's trying to help us, fight or flight. Parasympathetic is when we're in rest and digest. It's the opposite. The sympathetic is turned off. We can rest and digest and we're cool and calm. But most of us are in the sympathetic response, fight or flight. We're amped up, we're on edge, we're defensive, we're hypervigilant, as opposed to parasympathetic when we're in rest and digest. We're just in rest and digest. When we're on vacation, we get a little bit of rest and digest time. But when we're at our normal 9 to 5, we are not resting and we are not digesting. Quite literally, let's talk about how many people have digestive issues. That's a sign that you are in fight or flight. That's a sign that there is chaos in your mind and your inner body. Your psychology becomes your biology. Your psychology becomes your physiology. The way you think very much has an effect on your physical body. Does everything that happened to your physical body always have to do with mind? No. You can be around very damaging, harmful chemicals that are affecting your physical body. But the mind and our psyche has the most potent power over our physical body. So if we are not feeling rested or we're not digesting properly, quite literally, it's a sign. Let's check our mind. Let's check what's going on. Are we stressed? Are we worried? Are we in a state of fight or flight? We must calm our nervous system and regulate our body. Well, we don't have to do anything, but I think if you're on this call, you might be interested in it. How to calm your nervous system and regulate your body. Just calm it down. And remember, our emotional state or our vibration will dictate how we experience life. Your emotional state, your vibrational state will dictate how you experience life. Your vibration or your emotional state will dictate your money, your abundance or lack of, your love, relationships, career, purpose, health, mental and physical. And there are different ways that we can regulate. EFT tapping, the emotional freedom technique. It's tapping on meridians of the body, the energy center, the chi centers. If you've ever seen, acupuncture, those tiny little needles in different energy centers. But it's tapping on acupressure points, more generalized centers, calming the body. Conscious breathing, meditation, exercise, cold showers, music. These are just a few. But my favorite, well, I'm going to show you today, EFT tapping. We're going to get into that now. So the tapping exercise. And I'm also going to put these 2 sheets here. I think Christina Nevins, I had that. She'll put them in the chat. They're just, I think, JPEGs, pictures. You can download these. She'll put them in the chat for everyone to have. These are different EFT tapping procedures. I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen here. And you should get these. They'll be put in the chat for you to grab. I'll leave it here for a second if you want to take a screen grab. But I'm going to walk you through. EFT tapping is one of my favorite modalities when it comes to calming me down. And that's a nice way to say it. I usually use other colorful words. Calming my ass down when I'm dysregulated, right? Let's just be real. So the sheets that you're going to get in the chat here it shows you these different centers. But I'm going to walk you through something live right here. And when we're done, I'm going to hand it back over to Cleona. But I hope that the explanations were clear and helpful. And I would love to just ground us all for a second. There's free YouTube videos all over about EFT tapping. It's a wonderful modality. So if you just want to calm down and relax wherever you're at, relax your body, close your eyes if you feel comfortable, and just start taking some conscious breaths. Just relaxing your body. Turning your gaze inward. Just noticing. Noticing how your physical body feels. I want you to just notice any areas where you feel tightness, you feel any tension, any constriction. Just gently breathe into those areas. I want you to think of an area in your life as I was talking. Maybe one came to you. Maybe something's been on your mind for a while. An area of your life where you feel worried. You feel tension, stress, fear. Whatever comes up, I want you to just think about an area of your life where you wish you had a little bit more peace, more calm. Just continue to consciously breathe, really letting your belly expand all the way out. And release. And take your time when you're ready, opening your eyes and coming back to the room here. And I'm going to walk you through. So you can do this with me. You can either do it with one hand or two. When we start getting into the double tapping, I usually like to double tap, but sometimes when I'm driving, I will definitely use one hand to tap. I use it all the time. It truly works. I know as therapists, like there were so many times where I learned these modalities and I didn't even use them. You know, when I was younger, I would like talk the talk, but I wouldn't walk the walk. But now I know too much. As I said, I walk the walk, I talk the talk, I do it all. All right. So we're going to start here with this fleshy, soft part. They call it the karate chop. And just with 2 fingers, just gently tap. We're just going to gently tap here. And just continue to breathe as we tap. And you can just follow along with me. You can repeat out loud or just silently to yourself. Even though I'm feeling very, and you can fill in the blank, even though I'm feeling very anxious, I completely love, accept, and forgive myself. You can switch hands. Even though I'm feeling all of this fear right now, I completely love and accept myself. We're going to move right here by the eyebrows. Even though I'm feeling all of this anxiety and worry, side of the eye, I can feel it in my body and it makes me feel really scared. Under the eye. It's safe to release these emotions. I am safe to release these emotions. Continue to breathe. We're going to go right underneath the nose here. I like to just use the side of my hand, my fingers. Even though I'm really upset about this situation. I feel so upset. I completely love, accept, and forgive myself. I moved right here under the lip on the chin, gently tapping. All of this anxiety, all of this worry is safe to be released. A few more points. We're going to use all 10 fingers on the collarbone right there on your chest. Just continue to tap. Even though I'm feeling all of this frustration and discord, it's just my body letting me know that I'm human. No emotion is meant to stay. This too shall pass. We're going to go under the arm, right behind on your back. For the women, it's where the bra line is. Just tap gently on either side. It is safe to release all of these emotions. I am safe to let go of this emotion. I am safe to release all of these emotions. Last one on the top of the head. Even though I'm feeling all of this strong emotion, and it's making me feel uncomfortable, it is safe to release. I am safe to release all of these emotions. We'll end here. Even though I'm feeling all of these emotions. I'm feeling nervous. I'm feeling scared. The truth is, and just fill in the blank, what is the truth about you? What's the truth about your life? For me, the truth is, I'm strong. I've always managed to overcome anything, even though I'm feeling all of this fear. The truth is, in this moment, I'm okay. You can relax and just take some conscious breaths. And so that was just a practice of each of the spots, which again, you'll have the templates for. But it's really about improv. You can say whatever you want. You don't need a therapist or anybody to walk you through it. It's basically just identifying the emotion that's causing you discord and tapping through it, as we say. So naming it, even though I'm feeling this, so you're admitting it. And then you replace it with a positive affirmation. Or the truth is, right? There's many videos on this again. I have some videos too we can share with you. So I hope that was helpful, but we would usually do that for at least 4, 5, 6 repetitions. You can do it as long as you need before you feel safe. I do a minimum of like 4 rounds of all of that. We just did one together, and it really does calm the body down. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for your time, your attention, and for allowing me to share some things that have been helpful for me. Yeah, I look forward to meeting all of you, and I'll hand it over to Cleona, and so she can take it on.
Wow, amazing. Thank you, Carla. Now I'm all chilled out. I've got this amazing feeling of peace, and doesn't that feel good, everyone? How do you all feel? Feel more relaxed, more calm, right? Look at that. Just in a few moments, you can have a change. So I'm gonna share a few slides too. This call will go until 3:30, just about 3:30. Okay, so if you can hang in there with us, please do. And we'll also make it a replay available to you. Carla, you're incredible. Thank you for being open and honest and for sharing your journey with everyone. And it just shows you we can come from any walk of life, and this material will change your life too. If you put into practice these principles, these techniques, these tools that have not only changed my life, probably saved my life. And it sounds like Carla too, the way she was behaving as well, wasn't very, we weren't doing that great. Let's put it that way in our 20s.
Unelegant choices, I like to say.
We made unelegant choices. Yes, well, that's what we'll call it. But, thank God for Napoleon Hill. Thank God for Bob Proctor for leading us on this journey. Thank you for Dr. Vitale, The Secret, all of this material that brought us here. So I'm going to share a few thoughts with you. Dr. Joe Vitale came on at the beginning of the call, and he talked about see you in New York. So for those that don't know, next week in New York City, we're having a live in-person event, 3 days in person with Dr. Joe Vitale, Don Green, myself, Carla, and a few other incredible speakers. We're going to spend 3 days together, and it's going to be life-changing. I guarantee you it will be life-changing. Get yourself there. If you can do it, go do it. There, it's on our website, NapoleonHillInstitute.com. We'll share the link with you later, okay? Look into it at the end of the call, not now. But I just want to foot stomp. If you can get there, please do whatever it takes to be there. I give you my word that it will change your life. And we've got a whole plan for you after the event. We've it all set up for 90 days. There's going to be other things involved. Most people go to events, they leave, they're motivated. They're like, yes, I'm going to do it. I did that. Do you know how much money I've spent in personal development? Hundreds of thousands. And I would go to these events and I would get rah, rah, rah. And I would be like, yes, I'm a warrior and I'm going to change. And then I'd go back. And then I go to another event and be like, yes, now this time I'm really going to do it. This time I really mean it. And then I go back. And it was because of my programming. And I didn't understand the subconscious mind the way Carla was teaching you today. I was programmed. I didn't change the program in my subconscious. I didn't do auto-suggestion. I didn't do tapping. I didn't even know what that was. Never heard of it, right? And most people haven't. And maybe some of you have. But what we have here, I think truly from my heart, I think we have the best, most beautiful community in the industry. Our coaches, our clients. I see Lynn on here. She's shaking her head and giving a thumbs up, right, Lynn? We have people from all over the world. We study together every day. This is not just study. This is a way of life. This is a way of life where you can become a beautiful, in my opinion, divine clear channel to live on purpose, live your definite major purpose, because that's why you're here. And the main reason people don't have peace of mind is because they don't know their definite purpose. They don't know it be really honest with yourself right now. So what is peace of mind? In my opinion, and from what I've studied and what we heard from Carla today, peace of mind comes from knowing where you are today. Look at your life, your results, with no judgment, and where you want to go. I've coached thousands of people. Over 90%, 95% don't know where they're going, and they don't even realize where they are in life. I do believe we are a soul. We don't have one. We're actually a soul in a physical body. That's my personal opinion. And I do believe our soul is seeking expression and expansion. I believe every soul has a definite purpose. And if you don't know it yet, we can help you figure it out, or you will not find the peace of mind that you deserve. So number one, this is so important. Knowing your own mind creates peace of mind. And living your own life. Too many people are living somebody else's life because of the fears that Carla talked about, the 6 ghosts of fear. Other people's opinion, that was number 1 on my list. The main cause of fear is fear of poverty. That's the number 1 major cause of fear. But right up there, second, in my opinion, would be the fear of other people's opinion. Are you living your own life? Are you doing what you love to do? And if you are, guess what? You're successful. Congratulations. I don't care if you're making $10 billion or $10,000. If you are living and doing what you love, you have a roof over your head and you've got your labor of love and you have peace of mind, you are successful. You are rich. But you have to be living your own life and living on purpose, because your soul wants to live on purpose. And it's very uncomfortable when we don't know what that is. So I want you to really, really take a moment right now. We're just going to take 1 minute. We're going to close our eyes. And I want you to think. And I want to just go ahead, get comfortable, close your eyes. And I want you to just have a vision on the screen of your mind. I'm going to count to 5. And on the count of 5, a picture will come to the screen of your mind, and you'll have a vision of yourself 5 years from now. 1, 2, the picture is becoming more clear. 3, 4, and 5. Just 5 years from now, where are you living? Who are you living with? How are you living? What is your labor of love? What meaningful service are you giving to the world? Just take a couple of deep breaths in and out. And as you become more clear, the picture is going to become more clear, your vision for your life 5 years from now. See yourself living in your beautiful home, having freedom, having peace of mind. Who are you spending these most precious days with, this most precious time, your most valuable asset? your time here on earth. Who are you spending this time with? And if you're alone, what are you doing? What is your labor of love? What brings you joy? What brings you happiness? So see that picture now very clearly in your mind of who you are becoming and where your life is going. Now, on the count of 5, bringing back your awareness to this moment, to this amazing room, this virtual room of souls and hearts combined on a mission to bring light and love and peace of mind to the world. Count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and open your eyes. And just grab your pen. If there's anything came to your mind, write it down. Anything you saw that you haven't saw before, just write it down. That's just a basic, simple practice, a little mini meditation. And we do that every morning here at Napoleon Hill Institute. We actually do it at 5:30 in the morning, 5 days a week. And we have a class live in every time zone. So we can send you information on that as well, okay? But this is how we've created the new habit of having peace of mind. So I want you to really think about your vision for your life 5 years from now, examine the picture and decide, is this really what I want? And are you really free? Are your thoughts even yours? There are 4 major sources of thought impulses, not only from yourself. And this for me was startling when I figured it out. Thoughts come from infinite intelligence. They can come from God, infinite intelligence, whatever you believe in as that higher power. They also can come from obviously your own subconscious mind. And also, which shocked me when I went into the study, the mind of someone else who's released a conscious thought. Did you know that? You can pick up my thoughts. I can pick up yours. We're receiving stations. It's incredible. So as these 60,000 or 100,000, whatever the number is, come in, are they even yours? So be careful. Be careful with what you're receiving and accepting and getting emotionally involved in. And then the 4th one is another person's subconscious mind. They don't even know they're thinking it. It's in their subconscious mind. So this is how important it is to, I always say, stand guard at the gate of your subconscious mind. Stand guard. The goal is to live from the inside out with freedom from fear. That is really the goal. When you start to live from the inside out, everything changes. You no longer react to circumstances, events, and things that are going on. And through practicing meditation and the tools that we teach and studying every day, you're changing. You're changing everything is changing. Your subconscious mind, your programming, everything's changing. And so we always say living from the inside out means you're going to live from your 6 higher faculties instead of through your senses, which is a whole other class that we don't have enough time to go into, but I'll just touch upon them here real quick. Your 6 higher faculties being your imagination, your intuition, your will, your memory, your reason, and your perception. When you learn to live through these 6 higher faculties instead of through what's coming through your eyes and your ears and your 5 senses, everything changes. You stop reacting to the world and you start responding with peace of mind. And I'm not perfect. I'm still doing it every day. I'm still practicing, but the time frame of me staying in a negative vibration is now a lot shorter from doing the work every day. So peace of mind is know what you want, my friends. What is your definite purpose? And the first step is knowing what you want, how you want to live. That's why we did that little mini vision. How you want to live. Why do you want it? And where are you now? Know what you want, where you want to go, and know where you are today. This is how you'll change your life. So I'm going to give you a little assignment. You don't get off that easy. You have to do a little work too to put it into practice, okay? You're going to make a decision for your personal development plan for your life. I want you to come visit us at the NapoleonHillInstitute.com. Click on the events. If you can get to New York in any way, get there. It will change your life forever. It's 3 days. We've given people payment plans. We've made it so affordable. If you need help with booking a room, anything, get in touch with our people. We have a chat function on our website. Get to New York. We want to see you there. We're going to help you. We're going to help a lot of people. If you can't get to New York, we're going to give you access to our coaching program, our mentorship program for a few months, and come join and study with us every day if you can't get to New York. So go take a look at that. That's number one. Number two, I want you to write out a powerful vision statement. A day in the life, your life 5 years from now, free, with peace of mind, living on purpose, and free from any fears. I want you to write that out. A day in the life 5 years from now. We did a little bit today. And then I want you to write out the affirmation Dr. Joe Vitale created for you today. And I want you to write it out. This is not going to be easy. Let's see who does it. Because I remember I had to become coachable. I want you to write it out 50 times with your non-dominant hand. If you're right-handed, you're going to write it with your left. If you're left-handed, the right. And you're going to write out, I'm becoming more peaceful in every moment. 50 times, non-dominant hand, okay? Peace of mind. And then what I want you to do then is read that affirmation 20 times in the mirror in the morning and in the night. So tonight, you're going to do it 20 times. And in the morning, you're going to do it another 20 times. This is auto-suggestion. Don't walk away from here today with a little bit of entertainment, because that's not going to change your life. Put it into practice, okay? Put it into practice. I would love to see you in New York. Dawn Green is here. Do you want to share anything before we go, Dawn? Do you want to say anything? I'm so grateful you're here. Let's see if we can bring you up, my friend. You're muted. Try to unmute your.
Okay.
Now we hear you.
Well, I'm not going to drag it out along, but I listened to it. But I hope y'all notice this book. I studied and studied it. If you'll open it up, you'll see I read the preference inside. The publisher called me and said, we're going to issue a new issue, which means they're going to raise the price and change the cover. And they asked me to write a preference, which I did quite a few years back. But I taught this material 11 times at the University of Virginia, a class I organized and set up. It's a 3-year credit course. It's been taught for, this is the 26th year. I'll add just a little bit. We didn't talk a tremendous lot about auto-suggestion, but I'll share a little bit on Hill. He said, and we talk about, you got to develop faith. And to heal, there is only one way to induce faith, and that is through auto-suggestion. And when we develop a faith, along with that comes our trust, our belief, and our self-confidence. And that covers a tremendous lot of material. As a matter of fact, it's not our book, but I read it many times. I've not read it in a while, but I've read it lots of times. It's by Shad Helmstedter. He's a PhD, and he wrote a book, What Do You Say When You Talk to Yourself? The most important conversation you'll ever hear. When Cleona says you can't do that, you can shake it off. Well, what does Cleona know? I can do this. But when we tell self-negative thoughts. I don't care if it's we look in the mirror and say we're not dressed right, or we can't do it, or they're not going to give us an interview, or we're not going to get that raise. We tend to believe what we say, especially when we repeat it to ourselves. Our conscious mind feeds our subconscious mind, and we have to guard what goes into our subconscious minds. It's extremely important. But Hill, in one place, he lists the whole list a mile long. He said, why do people say such things as, I never have no money at the end of the month? And, keep saying to ourselves for negative things, because we tend to believe for ourselves and we think them. And the fact is, in the introduction of Think and Grow Rich, there's a complete lesson in the first sentence of the introduction. And he said, truly, thoughts are things. And that's where it all originates. Of course, that's the good part of it, but also that's the bad part of it. The bad things originate in our mind also. And I'm not going to practice psychology, but I have read lots of books, and I thoroughly enjoyed Carla and Dr. Joe, and of course always Cleona. But that's all I'm going to say about it. That I enjoyed it, but we have to get up, start practicing auto-suggestion. When I get up in the morning, the first words I say is, God, show me someone I can help today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Oh.
And I know I'm going to help somebody for the days out. If it's simply just send them a book, okay, which I've been known to send out a few. But anyway.
Yes, a few. Don's like at the post office every single day. He's the most generous, giving soul you'll ever meet in your life. And don't let him tell you otherwise. He's very humble. I've never met anyone like him. He's been running the Napoleon Hill Foundation for over 20 years, and he gets up every day and he sends gifts to people and free books, and he gives people money for their college education. I know what you're doing, Don. I know you don't brag, but I'll brag for you.
Well, Brunson tells me he's adopted my policy of giving away books.
Okay, good. We need more. Don, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you next week in New York. All right. I love you, Don. So
Love you too.
we're so grateful. We're so grateful. Thank you. Now, we're going to send you a replay. I want you to do the assignment, put it in our Facebook group. We have a Facebook group called Napoleon Hill Institute. Party at Cleona's house. Napoleon Hill Institute. And honestly, what you're seeing today, this is how we operate. We're happy, we're joyful, we're peaceful, we're having fun, we're helping people. It's the best way to live. So check out our website. If you can come to New York, get there. No matter what, just get there. And if you can't go to the New York part, you're going to get access to our coaching program. We'll do whatever we can. Just come study with us, come work with us, do whatever you can do. And I look forward to seeing you again on another call. Don't be showing up at my house. All right. Have a blessed day. Thank you. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to you, Carla. If you want to come up and say a few words before we go, that would be amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Like Cleona said, don't let this just be another call that we listen to and get excited about. This is a way of life. It's a lifestyle. We've all dedicated our life. And I know Cleona told a little bit of her story, and you obviously saw part of mine, photos included. But you can really make a change. This isn't just for people that we watch on TV or see on the internet, or, just see the highlight reels on Instagram. You have it in you. If you came to this call, if you are here and you're listening with your ears, or if you're listening to the replay, you are drawn to this for a reason. And I guarantee there's a part of you that even has the service to teach this material. You probably teach all of your family and friends this material. You are the person. You can be that savior for everybody else, be it for yourself first through this material or whatever material you're studying, and then help other people. Exactly what, Don Green was just saying. We all can help one another. Cleona helped save me. Bob reached and saved me. Joe Vitale saved me. I don't know where, I probably wouldn't be here. So just imagine all the lives that you can change by simply implementing and embodying this, this information. So I'm grateful to each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We will see you soon on another broadcast. And we're just so grateful to all of you. This is a blessing. And I will see you soon. Go do the assignment. Thank you. And if anybody has questions at the end, when we're finished, some of our team will stay on and answer your questions.